Hello. Today's rant is with Bluehost, which is a hosting company somewhere in the States. I've used them for a number of years and had a bunch of my clients on them, and they did a decent job. They charge a little bit more than some other hosts, but they did a pretty good job in the first few years I used them. But lately, it seems like they kind of gone down a little bit, even though they redid their website and seemed like they were trying to improve and so on and so forth. But this incident yesterday is just beyond basically my level of tolerance, and I'm not going to use them anymore, and I can't recommend them to anybody to use them either. So I get an email from them about full page long saying that the website for one of my clients that they're hosting has been hacked basically, and they're listing this one file that is infected, and they're saying they need to contact them immediately, and to take care of this, and that the website is being currently put on hold. Basically, it's unavailable to anybody until this gets resolved. So, of course, I get on the horn and try to contact them, and they have a nice little chat feature on their website. And so, as you can see from their, let me just do a little screen share real quick here. So instead of looking at me, you can be looking at their newly developed website here, which is actually pretty nice looking. And so I get this email, and it says, there's this one file. So I, click on their chat thing, and I sit and wait and wait and wait. And this is like first thing in the morning, so it was ridiculous to wait as long as it was. At first, it told me that there was a 30-minute wait, which was kind of shocking because the other hosting companies that I'm using, usually a couple of minutes at most. I mean, 1 minute, usually within a minute, somebody gets back to me. This thing here, it said immediately 30 minutes. And, long story short, after about 50 minutes, finally, I was able to talk to somebody. So by that time, I'm pretty steamed, not totally so, not explosive, but pretty steamed. And so I talked to the guy, explained the situation. We go through the usual deal of verification and everything else. And he says, the thing is infected. So I said, okay, so how do we take care of this? He says, you need to clean this thing out. I said, well, you guys are hosting it. Can't you clean this out? And the guy turns around and says, apparently you don't know much about web hosting. Or I'm sorry, not he doesn't web. He says web development. And after being some 30 plus years in IT, and half of the time spent in internet-related, web-related stuff, pissed me off to no end to hear that kind of deal. He has no clue what I do know about web development, what I don't know. And he, in addition to the fact that he doesn't have a clue about me, he also probably couldn't answer a simple question such as, the site has been hacked, okay? But the hacking comes from where? It goes through a network. A network is run on their end by them, by Bluehost. At that point, it's running on their computers. I understand if we ran our own dedicated server, which was unmanaged, and we had to take care of everything, I wouldn't have so much beef with them. But the guy's telling me that we need to take care of it. It's on a regular hosting account that's running. So the hacker had to penetrate their network, number one. Then they had to penetrate their server, number two. I mean, it's their computer. It's not my computer because it's, like I said, a regular shared account. I don't have any access to the computer to do anything on it other than put some web information on it. And then finally, they infected the actual deal. And the guy's telling me that I don't know anything about web development, which is why I shouldn't be asking these kind of questions. So anyway, so going back and forth, obviously with chatting, it takes a while. I'm trying to find out from the guy, look, I killed this one file that you indicated. Can you clear this thing for me so these people can get on? Because this is a website for a restaurant, and they have online ordering going on there, and it's part of their business. They cannot be down for any reason. So the guy is, like I said, acting to me like I owe him something, which is also another thing I don't expect to hear from people who are supposed to be taking care of me in terms of customer service, not vice versa. And so when I complained to the guy, made a couple of comments about the fact that it's your website, blah, 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 the guy comes back saying, look, we can clean it for you for 200 bucks. I said, it's your deal. You're hosting it. Why should we be paying $200 if you let somebody through your defenses on your network into your computers? And then the guy goes, well, if you don't like it, you can always take business elsewhere. And at that point, I was completely, the steam just went through, all the pores at that point. Because to me, I'm all about honesty and being, upfront with people. But this guy is absolutely killing their own business. I mean, I realize he's not representative in terms of the main spokesman for the company, and perhaps Bluehost has a different concept, but absolutely ridiculous to say to a client that you're suggesting that they can take their business elsewhere if they don't like what they're hearing. And so with a person like myself, this kind of dare, absolutely, I'm going to take my business, and I'm going to take all my clients' business as well, from whatever I had hosted with them, definitely moving into another client as we speak. This is totally ridiculous that Bluehost has these kind of guys running customer service for them, making those kind of ridiculous comments. But anyway, so then we get to the next stage, and at that point, like I said, I'm definitely more than steamed. I'm glad I didn't record this rant yesterday, because I would have been a totally different voice. At least I calmed down a little bit by now. And so the guy goes, I just did a check. There's 3 more files that are infected. I said, look, I looked, there's probably 100 or so files on the website. There's probably a couple of dozen directories, subdirectories. Can you just tell me, instead of telling me this baloney about 4 more files, can you tell me which files? Obviously, you know which files they are. The guy goes, 1 second. Comes back after another minute or so and says, yeah, these are the files. He says, I'll just send you an email. These are the files that are infected. Okay, so I go ahead and kill these files. And then I come back to him saying, okay, now can you run your clean, whatever test you're checking to make sure that the thing is okay? The guy runs, he says, now it's clean. We can reinstate the site. And then went ahead and did the thing, and then shortly afterwards, the site was back up. So to me, completely inexcusable. Number one, if you know that there are 4 files infected, kill the freaking files and get it over with. You don't need to be sending me email indicating that 1 file is screwed up and I need to do something to take care of it when the situation is such that you can easily do it yourself. All that needed to be done was the 4 files deleted or replaced with original copies. A couple of them needed to be simply replaced because they were not new files, they were existing files. So if you don't have the backups, why don't you just contact the client with email indicating that this is the situation, you've deleted files that you could delete, and the client needs to replace these particular files and be done with it instead of this nonsense. I spent over an hour on the phone, not on the phone, but on the chat with these people to delete the 4 stupid files, if you can believe that. Okay? On top of that, in addition to that, in terms of conversation, the guy is telling me that A, I don't know web development, and B, I can take my business elsewhere. Now, if that's not a recipe for disaster in terms of how they're running their business, I don't know what would be. So yes, I do not recommend Bluehost to anybody. Number one, you can do much better, and you can feel free to contact me. I'll be happy to give you some links to better hosting companies. And number two, if Bluehost is listening, you need to get rid of this guy before yesterday if you want people to be able to continue doing business with people. This is not how you do customer service. Let's get rid of this thing so they can see I'm genuinely yes. So anyway, one more time. This is not how you do customer service for business, okay? And you guys need to do major revamp of how you're handling customer service. You need to add more agents, number one, and decent agents, not like this Chad guy. I think that was his name, Chad. Okay? And you need to be really looking at what people need when everything is running smoothly, everything is hunky-dory, the sites are up and running, nobody's going to be bugging you. Where the stuff hits the fan, so to speak, is when something like this happens, and it's a mission-critical thing where the site cannot be down. You need to be doing whatever you can to make sure that site is up, not sending some stupid email that talks about a single file when there are 4 files involved, and then actually when your network gets penetrated and gets screwed up with somebody loading some garbage on it, you're telling me I need to pay $200 to take care of this problem? And then on top of that, you got your employee telling me that I can take my business elsewhere because of my attitude being unhappy on the subject? Absolutely, I'm unhappy, and I am taking my business elsewhere, and that's the end of this deal.